Session 2 is Mr. Anshuk Agarwal. The subtopic for Adiyogi is optimizing market website presence through social media marketing. Anshuk, over to you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Wasim. And thanks, Amit, for that insightful presentation on ANS and how to scale marketplaces. So today I'll be talking about web store. Just before starting, Wasim, have you given me access to the presentation?
Yes, Anshuk, we have given you the access.
Yes.
Anshuk, the access is with you, or you can over the slides.
Yes, absolutely. So good morning, everyone. My name is Anshuk. I'm one of the co-founders of Adiyogi. Over the last 2 years, we have worked with close to around 200 odd brands in helping them scale using social ads. When I say social, I'm talking about Facebook and Instagram primarily. So today, as part of this presentation, I'll talk about two key things. One, if you're scaling on social ads, what are the 4 levers you should be thinking about? And second, we'll talk about some brands and how they have efficiently scaled using Facebook and Instagram ads. All right. So first question, I think a lot of people ask me is if you're selling on Amazon and selling on Google, let's say, why do you need to build your own brand store or why sell on social using Facebook and Instagram? Now, very simply, let's think about a brand selling t-shirts, right? There will be a great set of people who will go to Amazon.com or Myntra and search for a t-shirt and buy it. But there would always be a share of people or your potential customers who are not searching for a t-shirt, who are not searching for your products. They would see your product on a social platform like Facebook and impulsively buy it. Now think of it as the former being going to a mall and stepping directly into a UCB store and buying a t-shirt, and social equivalent to going to a mall to watch a movie, and on the way back you see a t-shirt of UCB and you impulsively buy it, right? So you need to answer this question for yourself, which is what percentage of your customers are impulsive purchasers versus intent purchasers, and that will give you an idea about how much can you scale using social. Now, before we begin, a case study of a brand, Clarks. The question is, can a brand really scale using social? And the answer is yes. 2 years ago, Clarks in India had 2% of their sales coming from social platforms like Facebook and Instagram. And today they get 30% of their online sales from social platforms. And they would like to scale this to 50% over the next couple of years. So social could become a very effective acquisition strategy for your e-commerce platform. And just a carrot for all of you present here. Due to COVID, the cost of ads on Facebook has come down. This is actual cost of ads across 100 brands we work with. During COVID, it was 75% down. Today, it's around 50% down, but the cost is going up. So if you're an e-commerce brand, next 2 months is going to be a great opportunity. While the ads remain cheaper on Facebook and Instagram and the delivery has opened, this might be a great time to exploit your social ads. All right. So now coming to the efficiency, I'll talk about 4 key levers which anybody can use to get efficiency from social ads. The first one is, how do I find relevant people on Facebook and Instagram? Second is, how do I get them to see more products? Third, how do I reduce dropouts on my website and get them to convert? And lastly, how do I make them buy high value products? Together, these 4 levers are mutually exclusive and they will determine the return on ad spend you get on your social ads. So coming to the first one, how do I find relevant people from Facebook and Instagram? Now, a lot of you would think about the moment we talk about relevance, you will say which cities to target, which age to target, which gender to target. That is absolutely the right way of thinking about. But one big factor of relevance is your ad copy. A lot of you may not realize why that is the case, and I'll talk about exactly that. On the left side, you see a brand W for women. There are 3 key specific elements in the ad copy which are noteworthy. Number one, if you see, they are promoting a specific product on the website. So they are not running an ad of a brand or a category. They are promoting a product, because what that happens is the people who land on your website are the ones who like your product. Number two, they have price clearly mentioned very important, you need to pre-qualify your audience before they land on your website. Whether it is a 500 rupee product or a 5,000 rupee product, the price is an absolute mandatory thing in an ad copy because you want relevant people on your website. And number 3 is call to action button, shop now. Now there are options, learn more, know more, but trust me, you want to get people with the intent to purchase, only then they will purchase on your website. So very 3 important things in the ad copy if you want to get relevance. Now going on, the second is example of a brand, Suta. When you want to get relevant audience, there is a feature on Facebook. It's called as lookalike audience. Essentially what it does is it tries to figure out the most relevant people or most closest people to your customers on Facebook using Facebook's own algorithm. So what really worked for them is they created a lookalike of their high value purchasers and a lookalike of their frequent shoppers, and that gave them a very good result on Facebook ads. One point to add there, very important, optimize your campaigns for purchases. Optimizing for traffic or optimizing for clicks may not give you the best performance. So we spoke about how to get relevant people from social platforms. The second key important thing is how do you get them to see more products on your website? This is very important because the more products they see on their website, on your website, the more likely they are to purchase. Now I'll talk about an example here, which is about when you click on the social ads, not all people land on your website. We have seen that in general, there is a 20% dropout from the time when you click on the social ad, like on Facebook ad, to when you land on the website. And this 20% dropout is due to human behavior. People might have clicked by mistake. They might have changed their mind. But for some brands we work with, this dropout is as high as 50%, which means if you're spending $10,000 on social platform, $5,000 are going down the drain because those people never even land on your website. And this number is not visible on Google Analytics because Google Analytics only shows you once people have landed on your website. Why is this dropout so high? It's because your product pages or your websites are not loading faster. You probably have too many pixels in the header, which might be slowing it down. So very important to measure this metric. In this case, we saw a 36% drop for a brand, Saint G. Now you got people to land on your website. It's important that you land them on the right page of the website. What we have here is 2 ads which Metro is running. One of them shows multiple products and lands people on the category page. Second shows a single product and lands people on the product page. In almost all cases, landing people on the product page gives you a better efficiency than landing people on the category page, purely because the lesser the number of clicks a user wants to do on your website to convert, the higher the conversion rate. If you land people on the category page, they would have to scroll through multiple products to find the right product. So in this case, Metro got a 15% higher efficiency just by landing people on the product page. So you got them to see products. The third lever I will talk about is how do you remove dropouts on your website to increase the conversion rate. And I'll be talking about a men fashion brand. What we have here is what we have is a video of the website experience. While you're looking at the video, just try to answer in your mind what could be the reasons why users are dropping off. So this is the home page of the brand. The person has clicked and gone to the product page. As you can see, there are multiple call to actions on the product page. There are some social icons on the product page. And when you scroll down further, you would see some more links on the product page, right? So what I'll do is I know you would have thought about a few reasons. I'll go to the next slide and I'll talk to you about what are the reasons as per me. Number one, they had social icons on their product page. Now I know a lot of you like social icons like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, but they are a disaster to conversion rate. Imagine you are paying Facebook to get people to your website to convert, and just before they are converting, you're showing them other cool products from Instagram or a Facebook icon, which will divert them to the Facebook page. We saw a 50% drop in sales of one of the brands we work with just because they installed an Instagram feed on the checkout page. It's an absolute disaster. The second, which you could see, was investor relations links. Now, these are people who are buying your products. They are not interested in an annual report. Why would you want to show them an investor relation link on your product page, right? Similarly, too many call to action buttons. Check availability at store is not a great idea, because these are people who are willing to buy your product online. The moment you show check availability at store, they get digressed. They would click on it, they would go to a Google Maps, see if there is a nearby store, and in the process, they will lose interest. Similarly, add to bag. You might question what is the difference between add to bag and add to cart. But trust me, Amazon has written the rule book for e-commerce. If Amazon calls it add to cart, then it's add to cart. People get confused when they see add to bag. So small things on the website makes a huge impact. In this specific case, we saw a 50% jump in conversion rate just by making these changes. Now that means your social ads are giving you a 50% higher efficiency without even touching your Facebook and Instagram campaigns. That is the one point which I want to drive everybody. If there's one takeaway, that's the one takeaway, that your efficiency is not impacted purely by Facebook. And the last lever, last 2 minutes, is about how do you get them to buy high value products. Now, if somebody comes to your website and buys the cheapest product on your website, let's say, for example, a 300 rupee keyring, right? You are not going to make money off it, because most likely you would have paid Facebook 400 rupees. You would pay your delivery provider another 100 rupees and maybe a set of logistics cost. And there is no money to be made in a 300 rupee purchase. So what you need to be very cautious is your website should become a platform for selling high value products or premium inventory. Discounted inventory might not give you the best efficiency on your website. And I'll give you an example of TGL company. They sell tea. Their average order value was close to around 700 rupees. Now, a very simple math, the best case click from Facebook costs around 10 rupees in a normal scenario, not a COVID scenario. Best conversion rate on your website is 3%, which means out of 30 people, 1% is purchasing, which essentially means your cost per sale is never going to be lower than 300 rupees. So if you're selling a 700 rupee product, your profitability is going to be a big concern. So what's the solution there? Sell bigger packs. Instead of selling a pack of 1, sell a pack of 2 or a pack of 3, so that you can increase the average order value. And that's not the only way of increasing average selling price. Shri and Sam sells utensils. They are very active on marketplace. As you can see on the screen, they sell a pack of 6 katoris or 6 glasses for 449 rupees. If you sell this on your website, you will not make money. So a better strategy would be that you can sell your dinner set, which is like 2000 rupees on your website, because that is where you will make money. So figure out a way of filtering your products or segmenting your products for your brand store when you are selling using social ads. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope I was able to give you some levers on how to efficiently scale your brand store. Over to you, Wasim, for the next talk.
Hi, Anshuk. Thanks a lot for the insightful session and sharing your thought on the challenges faced by the e-commerce brands in scaling up